Miniature Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, today we're going to be looking at a cute little card game called Jungo. This is from Happy Camper Games, and they've done things like Combo, and they've done Trio, and a lot of little small card games. Let me show you how this card shedding game works, and I'll see you on the other side. Now the deck of cards in Jungo looks nice and fresh, the artwork is nice, it's light just like the game is, and cards are going to range from 1 to 8, with some of the cards having choices where you want that card to be. Now the object of the game is to run out of cards. The first one does that wins, and it's a card shedding game. Now you are trying to get rid of the cards, but you can only play cards that are next to each other. These would be in my hand, secret from other players, and you cannot rearrange the cards once they're dealt to you. So this is the way they were dealt. Now when you play cards, you can play a single card, like the 2 or the 8. You can play it from anywhere, but if you play multiple cards, they gotta be next to each other. So if I wanted to play these 2 1s, I could do that because they're next to each other, and I could do that. Now why would I want to play 2 1s? Well, playing 2 1s is good because, well, it's a set of 2 cards. But now look at this. Now I've got 6s set up for a possible future play that are all next to each other. And then the more cards you play, the better. Now the next player has a few choices. They can play cards, which if they play cards, they can play either more cards or the same amount of cards. That's more. For example, they could play 2 8s. That's a 7-8. They say, hey, this is 2 8s. And so because they beat this, the same amount of cards, and the numbers are higher, they beat it. Now the player that played this can either discard these cards or they can take them and put them in their hand. They might want 2 1s and they can put them anywhere in their hand because this might allow them to place it next to a card that they already have won. So maybe they take this. So now the next player, they need to beat 2 8s. So let's say the next player plays 3 5s. Well, it's more cards than 2, so it automatically beats it. You can only play the same numbers. There's no runs or straights in this game. It's always the same rank. And so someone might play 3 5s, and it beats this because it's more cards. Even though the number's lower, it's more cards, so it always beats less cards. And then that person would decide, do I want these, or do I want to discard them? Maybe they discard them. Maybe like, you know what, I can't really do anything with those 8s, or I don't want to. So this would be there like that. Now let's say it comes back to me, and technically I could beat this with my 3 6s. But it's going to give me not a great hand, so I'm not going to beat that. For now. What I want to do is I want to pull a card. So you could just draw a card instead of playing a card. Now this card, I could discard it, or I could put it anywhere in my hand. So maybe I want to put it right here because now I've got the 8 there. So you can draw a card, put it in your hand. That's it. You can also, when you draw that card, play it in front of you if you can beat what's there by adding cards to it. So for example, if I drew that 8, and I could say, hey, I'm going to put an 8 down. I have 2 other 8s that are next to each other. You can do that too. So you have a lot of flexibility in drawing a card. You can put it in your hand, you can discard it, or you can play it along with other cards of the same rank that are next to each other in your hand to try to beat that. That's called a Jungo. Now if this ever gets back to the player and nobody beat it, it gets discarded and they start a new set. So let's say by the time it gets back to me, there's 2 4s, and I'm like, okay, well, I could beat this with the 3 6s, and I'll take those 2 4s because I want to slot them in right here so that now I have 3 4s to push a little bit later. But again, you're trying to get rid of cards, so you're trying to get yourself powerful sets in order to go out first. And whoever goes out first wins, or you can play multiple rounds, and whoever wins 2 rounds first wins. All right, first thing I like about this game, adorable artwork on the cards, the little monkeys and such. It's light looking. The game's light, so the art sort of matches the type of game it is. Good quality cards. I'm a stickler, so if it's a card game, make the cards good, please. They did with this. They're nice. They're thick enough. They're linen quality. They have linen finish. They're quality. I like in this game that it's a card shedding game, right? So I like that you're crafting your hand all the time. You're taking cards, you're getting rid of cards, you're trying to run out of cards, but you're crafting a hand over the course of the round, and that hand is going to change. You're trying to sort of bridge things together, like in most card shedding games. But I like that it has sort of a fluid hand size, where like you're dropping down as you're throwing cards, but then you maybe be adding it back up by taking other cards that you just beat. So you're like, oh, well, I'm not even getting closer to having no cards, and that's how you win. Yes, it is how you win, but sometimes you'll need or want to pick up the cards that you just beat and put them anywhere you want in your hands because, you know, that's it. So that's the next thing is deciding what to do with the beaten cards. Do I want to take them or do I want to just discard them? And that's a big choice. Earlier in the game, you might want to take them. Later in the game, if you don't have a big set that's going to add to, you might want to leave them because someone else might be able to, beat you out. And that's going to add you another turn in order to go out, and people are getting low on cards. You're like, oh, this would make a really big set over here, but I have a small set for that. I'm almost out. So deciding what to do, and that decision will change based upon what state the game is and how close to the end you think it is. I like that. The same exact state cards that I could take, I might take them, but sometimes I might not, depending on what's going on in the game, and I like that. I like that you have multiple options when drawing a card. So, hey, I don't want to play a card. I can't play a card. I'm going to draw a card. Great. Am I going to discard that card? Am I just going to put it in my hand? Or am I going to Jungo and place it down and then add cards that are next to each other in my hand to try to beat what's there? I love that. You're randomly getting a card, but if you've set yourself up well, you might be able to do different things with it. I like that. You have lots of choices, even when you don't have a good set to play, and that feels good. Pick up a card. Oh, I can discard it. I can keep it, put it anywhere, have all this flexibility, or play it, possibly, and still beat something. That's great. When you don't think you have a plan and something falls in, that's awesome. This game has like a feeling like deck building, or building a hand at first. So like in deck builders, you build this hand, you build the engine, you build the engine, you build the engine, you build this money engine, you get all these cards. At some point, you got to convert cards and money and engine to points, right? And this is sort of a similar feel to that, where you're like, I'm building this hand, I'm building these cards, I'm grabbing these cards, I'm beating these cards, I'm adding these cards, I'm making these things. But at some point, you're going to have to be like, boom, 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 and like 3 turns in a row, try to like drop your whole hand down. And you've got to try to convert from what you had to big points. It kind of feels a little bit like a deck builder there. Now, I've read somebody had mentioned like, this is as if Reiner Knizia designed Scout. And I gotta say, I kind of agree with that. There's a couple of games that this is very similar to. There's a lot of games this is similar to, but there's a couple that stand out in my mind. One of them is Linko, which was a Kiesling and Kramer Kiesling card shedding game where you're playing sets just like this, and you're taking cards that you beat and things like that. This one, Jungo, and I played Linko and Scout back to back with Jungo, and this is so much more streamlined and clean than Linko was. Like, I really remember enjoying Linko, but after playing Jungo, this is replacing Linko for me, period. Also, Scout. I never was a huge fan of Scout. I didn't like it as much as many people did. But, I didn't like how the trick taking just kept going around and around and around. It kind of felt like one big hand. In Scout, you're scouting, you removed a card, making it easier to beat. So that just made it go over, around and around. There was not enough like sort of fresh resets within a single round. With Jungo, like with Scout, you're playing a card, or if you don't, you can Scout and then take a card. In Jungo, you're playing a set of cards and you're taking cards. You're either putting them in your hand anywhere, flexibility, or you're discarding them. So it's like double the fun as Scout, because it's like, I'm not doing this or this, I'm doing this and this. Playing cards, taking those. I did something good and I'm getting something good. It's just positive reinforcement, and it feels good, and it's super streamlined. It's a lot less fiddly than Scout. It's a lot easier to teach than Scout. Sure, you might say, well, there's not the double-sided cards in Jungo. You can't even play runs in Jungo. True. But the game, I think, is a better game. It's more streamlined. It's easier to teach, but yet there's still great decision space, and the positive reinforcement of playing cards and taking cards and not have to be like, I'm doing one or the other, I think makes this game better than Scout for me. I didn't love Scout before. I know a lot of people do. I like this better. In fact, everyone that I played this with likes it better than Scout, except one person who loves Scout, and even they said, you know what, sometimes Scout is really hard to teach to people that don't play a lot of games. Jungo, if I taught them Jungo and then taught them Scout, that'd be even better. So one person that will defend Scout to their deathbed still would say, I would play Jungo with new people first and then teach them Scout. Use this as a stepping stone. But almost everybody that I've talked to and played this with likes this more than Scout. So I think this is a Scout replacement, personally, for me and for most of the people I've played this with. So I think this is a fantastic thing. Anything I don't like about it? A couple things. Well, it's a card game. Luck of the draw can really make a difference, which is why they say you should kind of play multiple rounds so you can have, whoever wins 2 rounds first. The game is better than with more than 2 people. It's not great with 2. It's better with more. The other thing is the longer variant is like play till everyone has two things. The problem is that it doesn't scale that well, because with 3 players versus 5, the amount of rounds you play are going to be more. Now, granted, the rounds are quick, so it's not a long game. It's not a big deal. But I would have rather have said, 3 hands feels about right for this game. And there should have been some type of scoring like, hey, if you went out first, let's say you're playing a 4-player game. You go out first, you get 4 points. You go out second, you get 3 points. You go out third, you get 2 points. You go out last, you get nothing, right? Play 3 hands, whoever's the most points at the end wins. I like that better than just saying, well, play till someone wins 2, because a 3-player game is going to be usually shorter and a handful of rounds less than, or a few rounds less than a 5-player game possibly. And I think that's a better way to do it, but it is what it is. It's a minor quibble. I really enjoyed this game. I think a lot of people are going, if you like card shedding games, if you like Scout, this is definitely one to check out, and this is Jungo. And for all those reasons, it's staying in my gaming library, and it is getting a Saxophone Serenade, which is my biggest award, so here we go. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. In their 5.0 Kickstarter, they found a way to deflate prices to pre-pandemic levels without sacrificing their quality brand, and in some cases by $200, plus dropping the shipping price as much as 50%, saving another $100. Go to GameToppersLLC.com to late pledge now.